My name is Kevin Daniels. I am the newly appointed National Vice President of the National Indigenous Medical Cannabis Association. I am Plains Cree from Treaty 4 Territory in Saskatchewan. Today we had our first National Indigenous Medical Cannabis Association board meeting. We had nominations, first of all, for our national executive. We had nominations for our board, and we had our first national board meeting. Today we also had nominations for Ontario, our first Ontario chapter of the Ontario Indigenous Medical Cannabis Association are now formed. They are the first of 12 other provinces that we hope to have incorporated within the coming weeks and months ahead. Ontario is now on the floor. They're now a legal entity along with the National Indigenous Medical Cannabis Association, and we are going to be putting forward our position on Indigenous cannabis, grown by Indigenous peoples, for Indigenous peoples, from here and into 7 generations into the future.
And what are the next steps that you're taking as an organization out of today's meeting?
Well, our next step is basic ongoing capacity building of the organization. We need to get all the provinces and all leaders. There's still a lot of leaders out there in the Indigenous cannabis business, and we need to get them all into one room to come forward, and we're prepared to help Canada deal with its legalization of cannabis problem and the regulation of that medical cannabis. And we've got some very, very good leaders, very, very intelligent, very, very knowledgeable of cannabis, and we're going to do our best to ensure that we help heal Canadians, and most importantly, help heal Indigenous peoples.
If there's Indigenous people watching this and they want to know how to get involved, what do you tell them?
Well, right now in Ontario, you can now get involved by becoming a member of the Ontario Indigenous Medical Cannabis Association. They set their membership at $25 per person, whether you're a patient, whether you're a dispensary worker. There is a membership criteria committee that has been set up to look further as to what kind of membership fees we'll be talking about when it comes to growers, owners of dispensary, affiliate organization, affiliate members, and stuff like that. So a membership criteria has been set up. Ontario is way ahead of the game right now. We have approximately about 30 paid members to date, and their job now is to go on a membership campaign across Ontario. They are now in a legal position to do that and begin dealing with the issue of medical cannabis in Ontario.
Very quickly, in summary, what is it that what is it that you seek to have achieved after the end of your 5-year term?
After our 5-year term, we hope to have a good, solid constitution and bylaws that would ensure the openness, the accountability, the transparency of this organization, and as well as our first national elections of new leadership. I won't be here forever, so we need to pass down all of our knowledge to our next generations, the next 7 generations to come. And that's what we're going to work towards, ensuring that we have the future beside us and that they're knowledgeable about the organization and how this organization is going to help them into the future. And I think, this is just the beginning. This could be the beginning of a new movement that Indigenous people need to see and need to have in order to deal with the social and economic conditions of our people.
Excellent. I just remembered one other thing I was going to ask you is there's been a lot of increased repression of the non-native community, the people that have opened up dispensaries and that have been moving forward. There's been a lot of raids, a lot of concerns in that quarter. What would you say to them as somebody involved with this association?
Well, I think we need to extend our support out to anyone that in the cannabis industry, and to see where we can assist and help out. again, you know, there are cannabis dispensaries opening up right across the country, and we're still left out in this business. And the time has come that as Indigenous growers, as Indigenous owners, and workers, and as patients, we need to take sovereign control of cannabis in our communities. How we regulate it, how we distribute it, all has to come from our people to Canadian society, to Canadian government, to provincial governments. And we're prepared to negotiate in a tripartite agreement of some kind that our Indigenous nations and Canada and the provinces can indeed work together to assist in legalizing cannabis and regulating it to the best of our ability to ensure that our Indigenous peoples get the best product that's clean, that's organic, that there's no pesticides, there's nothing of any danger of any kind, that it's safe for the kids, packaging is safe. All of those issues is what this organization is all about. And we want to get it out of the hands of the criminals, get it out of the hands of our children, and get it into the patients that really, really need cannabis. And that's why we're here. It's going to be legalized, and we're going to be part of that legalization process.